No Such Thing as Normal by Sophia and Ella Kingston. Echo. Echo! Students' heads turn in confusion. They've never heard that name before. My name was always Sage before. My voice is barely audible as I say, "Yes, miss." People stare at me, their eyes bearing down into my flesh. My face feels hot. I hate people staring at me. When Miss Ashley finishes the register, she'll tell them why my name is Echo now. This might help them understand who I am, but it won't stop them teasing me. Lizzie tells me it will be fine in sign language. We know sign language because my sister is deaf. I want to believe her, but I can't. Miss Ashley starts speaking. As most of you realised, there was a different name in the register. Sage is now Echo and uses they and them pronouns instead of she and her. If you would like, you can ask them questions. Astrid puts up her hand and Miss Ashley points at her. Why did you change your name and pronouns? I'm non-binary. Then in my direction, Astrid whispers, You're weird, Sage. Lizzie. When we are walking to maths, I notice Echo slowing. I slow my pace to walk next to them. They have blood on their lips. They must have been biting it. It's one of their stims, a repetitive behaviour done by neurodivergent people, such as flapping hands and biting nails. When the maths classroom is in sight, Echo stops. Are you okay? I ask. They don't respond. I realise they're probably having a shutdown. I understand, so I take them to inclusion. On the way back to maths, I know I'm late. My breathing quickens. I need to calm down. I start going over strange things that have happened in the Bermuda Triangle. I get to the maths classroom and open the door. Why does my desk have to be the furthest away from the door? Everyone's eyes follow me to my seat. Mr. Stenhouse comes up to me and menacingly whispers, Why are you late? In a way, this is more scary than when he shouts. I reply quietly. I was taking Echo to inclusion. They were having a shutdown. There is no such thing as a shutdown. This must be part of your made-up neurodiversity thing, hollers Mr. Stenhouse just as Echo comes in. When he sees them, Mr. Stenhouse shouts at Echo, Where have you been, Sage? Echo covers their ears, trying to maintain sensory stability. Their sensory sensitivities mean they feel everything more intensely than neurotypical people. My name is Echo, not Sage. I'm non-binary. The shout doesn't help, and I begin to cry. No, I can't have a panic attack here. Echo comes over and takes my hand. They take me out of the classroom to inclusion. My breathing slows. I am calming down. There are still tears in my eyes, but there is an angry hot feeling in my stomach. How can he say that to us? How could he do that? I can tell Echo is outraged too. We need to do something about this. Echo. Lunchtime is never good. We have to queue in a loud, busy hall, which often causes a sensory overload. This lunch is particularly awful. I start to flap my hands. It is too loud. There is too much sensory stimuli. Tears start leaking from my eyes. I feel Lizzie's warm hands wrap around me. I usually hate hugs, but Lizzie never overwhelms me. She's always gentle and comforting. I stop flapping my hands, mainly because I don't want to hit Lizzie. Lizzie whispers in my ear. I can get both our lunches. Do you want to wait in inclusion? I nod. Once we've had our lunch, we go to Mr. Stenhouse's office. I can tell Lizzie is as anxious as me. Her face goes blank when she is reciting the different mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle. My face is blank when I recite the Greek gods and what they are the god of in my head. When we get there, we knock on the door. In a stern voice, Mr. Stenhouse says, "Come in." I suddenly get really anxious and I start to stim. "Speak then, girls," Mr. Stenhouse says. "I'm not a girl," I mutter. I know it's only the first day, but I told him earlier. When I told Lizzie in year 7, she always used the right pronouns for me. "We're here to talk about how you treat neurodiversity," explains Lizzie, confident as always. "We've noticed that you're shouting at neurodivergent people for things they can't help, like bad handwriting, panic attacks, meltdowns, shutdowns, covering their ears, stimming, and so many other things. We also notice that you aren't using the correct pronouns for Echo and not accepting them as being non-binary." Louder than ever, Mr. Stenhouse hollers, "There is no such thing as neurodiversity. It's just an excuse. And being non-binary is made up as well. Get out of my office, now." As I leave, I see a look on his face I've never seen before. It could have been guilt, but I can't tell. His face is red with anger, but he's chewing his lip and avoiding our eyes. Lizzie. Echo and I both spend the rest of the day in inclusion, too upset to go to lessons. The staff in inclusion know us because my OCD and ADHD were really bad last year, and Echo got really anxious too because of their neurodiversity. We spent a lot of time here. An ambiguous note is handed to us, telling us to go to the head teacher's office. The moment we enter, he apologises. "I'm really sorry for disrespecting neurodiversity. My daughter was diagnosed with dyslexia, and I did some research. Now I know. Neurodiversity exists. I'll do my best to make this school as neurodiversity friendly as possible, and I'm very sorry for disrespecting your pronouns, Echo." A sigh of relief escapes us. Finally, acknowledgement. Neurodiversity will be respected now.